Hello guys and welcome back. Today I'm going over a referenced Maliwan super weapon that contains all the elements and also breaking down a fan idea for Maliwan DLC. The work on the thumbnail came from Vinny G. Red on Flickr. I'll link to his page where he has a lot of awesome Borderlands one-shots, so you guys should all check him out. So with that, let's get right into it. So this information about the weapon comes from Borderlands 2 through a radio broadcast that the player can actually hear a lot of different things referenced if you actually stop and listen to the radios in-game. Most of the weapon manufacturers have at least one message that reference different planets in an effort to promote their weapons. A group of the dialogue comes from Maliwan, so let's take a listen.
Frothing at the mouth, thirsty for blood. They know not of the terror they shall feel, the beautiful destruction that will befall them. For in the hands of their ostensible victim, polished to a sheen, and wielding the power of every element under the sun, lies a Maliwan rifle, the Deus ex Arma, the god in the weapon, Maliwan.
Okay, so rightfully this weapon has spurred a movement in the community, and just to clarify so we're all on the same page, the Deus ex Arma translates from Latin into God in the weapon. So what is this weapon? Is this just marketing for Maliwan themselves? Do they actually have a created super god weapon? Or was it just the developers' way of having fun and including a weapon that they want to hint at for possibly future installments of the series? Well, we really don't know unless Gearbox decides to add this weapon, maybe as an actual good pearlescent in Borderlands 3. There was a community mod for this weapon at one point. It was a reskinned Tulane that was a pearlescent weapon. There's only one video I could find of someone actually using it, so I'll link to that. But I believe the mod got taken down or people just didn't like it anymore, so the creator removed it. There's also, though, the Ruin SMG, which is another reskin Tulane made by Dashiku, and this mod is actually still available on GitHub, so if you guys want to try it out. It's not called the Deus ex Arma, but it's still a multi-element weapon. It cycles through all the different elements, which is the closest we can get to actually seeing it in-game at this point. Me personally, I would love to see more background on Maliwan in the future installments of the series, just because of how high-tech they are and how powerful their weapons are. It'd be cool if they made some sort of story DLC, and at the end of it, we're either given the Deus ex Arma as a reward, or we have to steal it, and maybe it's Maliwan's most prized possession, maybe they only have one of them made, but it actually leads into a fan idea for a DLC I found. The idea comes to us from Reddit. It's a few years old, but it's still relevant and cool to break down some community ideas. If you want to read or check it out for yourself, link will be in the description down below. So this post comes from D374 TP Forever. He says, quote, "The CEO of Maliwan invites the Vault Hunters to test new weapons. The first story quest will involve 2 to 3 uniques you test on bandits. After that, the CEO tells you one of their experimental guns was stolen by the bandits. This is the one part I have entirely down. You fight through the bandit cave, but these bandits are different. They only use elemental tech. When you get to the end, you see a mysterious glowing rifle floating in the center of the room. The CEO urges you to take it, and when you do, you black out. When you come back to, I assume, the CEO is spouting stuff of a new age. Lilith tells you that it's a trap, and they wanted you to release that, quote, thing. Maliwan troops storm into the room and open fire only to be splattered in a fiery explosion by a glowing figure that teleports away. You run through, burning and melting troops to the end, where you see the figure floating in the sky, only to disappear in a caustic explosion. When the dust settles, you see all the nature around the cave entrance acid melted away. I came up with this after hearing an in-game radio ad, which I referenced above, where they mentioned the Deus ex Arma, a gun that wields all the elements. They also call it the god from the or within the gun. For the bosses, I'm thinking once you escape the cave, Maliwan sends a mecha siren after you, an automatron with elemental siren-like powers. The MS will have different elemental phases of attacking, during which it will resist a certain element, use phase lock and phase walk, and release novas when changing elements. When below 20% health, it will change every 5 seconds. Before fighting the god itself, you'll fight the CEO herself. That's right, her. There's actually, this is me, there's some really cool fan-made art of what the Maliwan CEO looks like, so I'll show that on the screen while I finish this. She's wielding the Deus Ex with Maliwan support troops for a raid boss. I'm thinking the CEO plus the Mecha Siren as combined in an ungodly combination. So there's some cool ideas in there. I'm a fan of the gun containing an actual elemental monster, which gives it all its elemental powers. Maybe they could even tie it in some way to how sirens get their powers. If this is an offshoot of the sirens, or maybe guys can't be sirens, but they can be like these elemental stronger spirits. Or maybe that this elemental spirit that wields all the elements is like one of the original sirens, or an old god, or there's so much they could do with this. The idea of man-made mecha sirens has always interested me, and I talked at length about this inside the Norma concept art video, so check that out if you want to hear my full thoughts. But obviously this is just fan-made. I think the most important thing to take away from this is that fans are speculating for themselves about the manufacturers and lore for the game. It acknowledges the fact that most of the community wants to know more about the manufacturers in the Borderlands universe. All we really know a decent amount about is Hyperion, Atlas, and Dahl, kind of. We have pieces of information about the other manufacturers, but the community wants to know more. But let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see the Deus Ex Arma in Borderlands 3, possibly as a pearlescent? And what manufacturer do you guys want to learn more about in Borderlands 3? Let me know all your comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.